So this, let me see. So to put like a timeline on, I guess, like the previous story, so since we're going from like the nun era, these stories exist outside the bounds of the nun era of things. This is pretty much different random occurrences in my college experience that weren't necessarily tied to my relationship. Some of these stories take place during that whole era of time from the previous story, but is just completely unrelated because there was no sort of involvement with the nun.
How many people can say they had a nun era of their life?
Yeah. Not many I know. It's just me.
The nun arc, if you will.
Yeah. So
you legitimately have a before Christ era of your life, a BC.
Yeah, BC. Currency and whatnot. Yeah, I just like a preface with that because like she's not going to make like a reappearance in these stories or anything like that, or these retellings. So that era has passed and everything.
That sounds like foreshadowing in many ways.
It's not though. It's not. I promise you. I promise you, the Last Supper has nothing to do with her, like in this instance. But essentially, these stories take place back in my, or at least the first story that I'll get into, back here at Swag Academy, where I went to college. Definitely real college, real school.
I hear they have a great burger time on campus.
Oh, yeah, it's fantastic. So this first story was during my freshman year of college, and I was still being my virgin dumbass self. And before everybody makes any comments, yes, that is a photo of me and my new girlfriend during my sophomore year of college, post nun. Real aside for a moment, I found this image while I was trying to find like some images on my camera roll today for presenting today, and I forgot that my college friend made this for me because we had always thought that the photos seen online of like dudes with their waifus were always really fucking funny. So like I said I wanted to make a photo like that and whatnot. So I had he had me stand in like the corner of a room and essentially get like the stupidest outfit I could find, which I had a Sonic the Hedgehog Gotta Go Fast t-shirt that I got at a convention. I like parted my hair in a really weird way, and we took like 20 minutes to basically this is completely unrelated to the stories about online, but I just had to include this photo in the presentation because I wasn't just using like a stock image like virgin photo like the last one. Like this is actually me and this is actually my girlfriend.
Yep.
Why is the book covered? It looked like it was drawn over.
I think that was actually the image that was used.
I'm worried now because every time I see these types of images and I recognize the anime character, I lose so much self-respect.
Wait,
which anime character is this? I don't even recognize it.
I don't. But I'm just worried about a future one coming up, and I'm going, oh no, I know which show it's from.
Yeah, Colin, how many of these pictures did you take? I mean, you said it took 20 minutes.
Well, I'm gonna say like I sound like a fake anime fan now, but I actually forget the name of the character. It's been so long since I've seen it. No. It's from the girls from the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, and I can't see the chat if anybody's already shouted out what the answer is. I haven't watched the show in a while, so I'm forgetting her name.
All I can see is Yuki? Someone said she's a psyop. That's all I've seen.
Yeah, she's an alien, but that I'm not gonna get into that. But yeah, funny photo. Had a good time with it. It was like my profile picture for a while, and then like that slowly evolved over time. Anyways, just aside. So this story takes place during my freshman year, new girlfriend, new life, blah blah blah. Halloween was rounding the corner, just to kind of set the scene for you all for where we were at. So this was thinking because I started school in August, so August, September, yeah. So this was literally like 2 months into like my freshman year of college. Like I'd already gone through like freshman orientation. I was starting to kind of make friends and have like a group of people I could hang out with regularly, outside of classes and whatnot. And we were all a bunch of like shit posting shitlords and whatnot. For the kind of plans and events that we did. So it was around Halloween. Me and my friends wanted to do something stupid and fun to kind of celebrate Halloween. We were kind of brainstorming different ideas just from like, the excitement of, oh, we're in college now. Like there's limitless potential and opportunity in front of us. to essentially have fun with it. Like we talked about, just putting on some sort of event that would be fun and memorable for us, to make like the early anxieties of the school year kind of pass easier. So we weren't really the kind of group of people that enjoyed like partying or getting like, totally plastered at like a Halloween party. Because that was kind of the expectation of the school I went to, where it's Halloween night, right? I think it was the middle of the week too. So it wasn't even a weekend, but like people were going to like, party it up at like fraternity and sorority houses, get absolutely, blackout drunk, right? And whatnot. But we really weren't trying to do that, but we wanted to have like a fun and memorable night. So what our friend group came up for an idea after much debate and thinking was we were going to, do what everybody does for Halloween, right? Get dressed up in Halloween costumes, not present in the image seen here, but, similar Halloween costumes. And we were going to put on a flash mob-esque stunt on campus and whatnot. Like we didn't have any sort of like coordinated dance, and I'll kind of get into more of the details as we get further into the presentation.
Would this instance have been in the mid 2000s, around that time when flash mobs were like actually big?
No. So I don't want you to think of like we were like actually trying to like choreograph like a dance that would just happen on like in the middle of nowhere. It was like, what was the year? It was 2017, I think, was the year. So I don't know if flash dancing or
I think you missed the trend by a few years.
Yeah, I'm gonna say like.
I was gonna say all I did in university was play Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's like making flash mobs a normal thing to do.
It's not like I said. That's the only best way to describe it. As of right now, I'll go into more detail as we continue on. But so in preparation for this event, I'll call it without giving in the hard details until a little later in the presentation. We all did our respective online shopping, right? For like our different costumes and whatnot, because a lot of the conversation surrounding how these plans came about from like my jaded memories of college from however many years ago was that we were kind of joking about like what outfits we wanted to wear. All of my other friends, without spoiling, wore just like regular outfits and whatnot, but I'd wanted to take it a step beyond. And my devious self was really wanting to go all out with the
you whipped out the programmer sucks.
Yeah. So so what I decided to wear for Halloween, I click back into the tab, was a pink Japanese schoolgirl uniform that absolutely did not fit me at all, because it wanted to go all in. Yeah, I wanted to go all in for our stupid fucking idea. So once again, not to dox myself, but that is a real image of me being used. I covered my face.
You said it didn't fit.
Oh, say that again?
You said it didn't fit. That totally fits.
This is clearly a picture of an outfit fitting a person.
Now, so I say it
lied to me.
Even though the photo makes it look like it fits, it is like the world's tightest outfit I have ever worn. Like the thing with, if you ever buy Asian clothing, or at least like whatever site that I bought. Yeah, you know what I'm about to say. So like whatever, I think it was like a cosplay site or something. Like I had bought this outfit, I think off of Amazon, and the shipping information came straight from like Japan, right? So I bought the biggest size, right? Because it was literally, I think the outfit was, I don't think it was gendered, but it was essentially like an Asian triple XL.
Japanese schoolgirl outfit, not gendered.
No, but I mean like the fit and the cut and everything else is meant for petite women, not me.
I'm really afraid to say this, but I've seen this anime.
Yeah. You've seen me in it too. So I say
you'll never see it the same way again.
Yeah, don't remind me.
I'm taking those posters down now.
We're 2 for 2. Oh, so
one person did say in the chat, average IT student.
Yeah, you can try to guess my major after the end of this presentation. I'll let you know how spot on you are. But like it was a triple XL, but it was so tight it just could barely fit. Like if you see the black in between like my waist, between like the skirt and the actual shirt, those are like basketball shorts I had to wear underneath it, because this skirt was supposed to go down to like like my lower thighs, like the knee area, couldn't fit. So like I had basketball shorts underneath it. It was impossible to get into. Like trying to get into it, I think I literally tore it a little bit. And it was just like extremely suffocating, tight, and just absolutely, a nightmare travesty to wear. So
but you committed
I
to
decided. Oh no, I was absolutely committed 100%. And I have to tell you, like, I unashamedly decided to wear this out in public. Like, literally, I wore this after classes had ended. I wore this outside for like several hours on end. And not just like, oh, I'm sitting outside, like my dorm area. Like, I left my dorm building and like walked around to like study halls and other stuff with this outfit on. Like, I'm pretty sure I had somebody like take a photo with me because they thought it was that funny and whatnot. And like, I got to tell you, the amount of effort it took for me to like not only put on the outfit, like I bought it, right? So that was like the first step, was to then put it on, because that was a struggle. So like I could have quit there, but then like I'm sitting in my dorm room ready to walk outside, of my abode after 2 months of being in college, in a Japanese schoolgirl uniform. And as you can see in the previous photos, I am not exactly, a small petite girl. Like I am a pretty lanky boy. Like I have, I stand out in a crowd if I'm not wearing a schoolgirl uniform. So it's like we're double trouble now. So it took a lot of willpower to leave my dorm, but eventually I did end up doing it because it was, it was just a struggle in general to do. But essentially, when classes had ended, we all got together again, all of me and the boys in our respective Halloween outfits. None as crazy as like the Japanese schoolgirl uniform, but we all got together and started to kind of air out like the rough details for what we wanted to do. So to paint the picture for the plan, essentially, that we pushed through, was we had a little music speaker that I think one of us, I don't remember who, I know it wasn't me, because some of us had like bags on and others didn't, because we just left our stuff in like one of our dorm rooms. But we had like one of those little, I don't remember the brand name, not that it matters, but like Bluetooth speaker that we were going to just blast as loud as possible, right? Like we got one that was like meant and known for the sound quality, essentially. And we were going to essentially dance our way through the 24-hour quiet library on campus. And just to put this into perspective, I don't know if you guys have ever been to like universities that have these or have ever experienced that, but this was a building on campus that was known to be like, I think it was just kind of an unspoken rule, but that's usually how the place functioned. Was there was classrooms in it, but there were other like, essentially literally how this looks, multiple rows and chairs of like study sections where people could just like pull out their laptops, read textbooks, do notes, pretty much in silence for the most part, beyond like class transitions.
It's like Monsters University.
Yeah, kind of, actually. So we had decided.
That's my. Sorry, I was gonna say, that's my only like knowledge of American college or university.
Yeah, it's Monsters University.
Yeah, I had their fraternities. That's a thing? Fraternities.
Yeah.
You heard.
And you steal animals.
It's funny because the little like rooms up top there, they actually call fish bowls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so like the aquatic creatures right there, the land creatures down there below. It's like to see.
I said not to dox me. You guys are literally saying
God, I'm sorry. He went to Swag Academy, not Monster University. We don't know Monsters University. Never heard of them. Don't know where they are. Cullen definitely didn't attend.
Yeah, Monsters University was like 10 blocks down the street.
It's a college town.
It's a fenced-in community at Walt Disney.
So we essentially had that plan aired out because the library was open for 24 hours a day. Like you could literally go there at like 3 a.m. and like, the building would still be unlocked and open. The lights would be on. Like I think the one cafe they had in there would obviously be closed and some of the rooms would be locked, but like the general study areas would be open. So we were guaranteed at like, I think 7 or 8 p.m. at night, EST. Like we essentially like we were going to be able to like go in there, and the fact that it wasn't a weekend either meant that like you were guaranteed to see a ton of people there and whatnot. So the plan was simple. We were going to go there from the dorms, which were like I think not even a 10-minute walk, more like a 8-minute walk away, and essentially just make a beeline there, and then once we get to the front doors, just kind of play it by ear. Craziest thing about this experience too, so all of my friends are in Halloween costumes, right? Like semi-regular costumes, nothing like too uber crazy, not like anything Halloween store bought where it's like dinky. I don't know the right word for it. Just like we had like good quality Halloween.
Yeah, like the cheap material that velcros or ties up in the back.
Yeah, where it's just like one piece of cloth and looks terrible. Like we had solid costumes, but on the way we ran into a random Halloween goer cosplayer. I don't know what, but this dude was dressed up as Kakashi from Naruto. Not a part of our friend group. Like didn't even know who he was. Literally leaving class. And was like, where are you guys going? Because like we had the speakers, I think like playing casually as we were walking. Dude just like talks us up, right? And is asking like, where are you guys going? It's like, oh, we're gonna go to the library and dance around like idiots. Like, you want to join? Dude straight up like just is like, okay, turns around and starts following us. Like he went from leaving class to immediately joining a ragtag group of people.
Wait, he was dressed up like Kakashi Sensei in class.
I would assume so. Yeah. So we just happened to pick up to pick up a straggler.
Like this man had no plans for that evening.
Yeah. This was his normal uniform. Like this was nothing.
Yeah. He wasn't even dressed up. That man was just Kakashi.
Yeah.
He was just hanging out.
Yeah. At Swag Academy.
Yeah.
So, yeah. He went there. Spoilers for all the Naruto fans who haven't finished the series. But yeah, I mean it's such a weird detail that sticks out of my mind that it was like worth its own PowerPoint slide or Google slide, because like it was just so like unexpected, because we didn't think we'd amass a crowd, let alone just somebody who was like not only curious as to what we were doing before we did it, but then wanted to join in on us. So that happened on the way, and once we got there, like put our stuff down and we're essentially like at the library. I have to say it was one of the most exhilarating like moments in my college career, albeit 2 months in. We essentially, when we got in the doors, were blasting the music, right? So we were playing music like the two songs I remember specifically were Aha's Take on Me and Boney M's like Rasputin, like really just meme dance music and whatnot. So we just get in there, we start doing just like random, not even Congo line stuff, but just like random dances and moving our arms and whatnot, and we have an absolute blast with it. Like students are looking up from their books, half of them are like confused as to what's going on, some people like seem increasingly alarmed, so and other people are just laughing their ass off.
This was still a functional library while you were doing
absolutely
this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so that was the point.
I thought it would be closed for the holiday or something.
No, you missed my point earlier in saying it was 24 hours. It was 24 hours on like a Wednesday night or something.
Wait, you think like Halloween's like a federally observed holiday? Like we gotta shut down the bank, boys.
They would be like
too scary.
Allowed to come in and do this dance party of theirs. I thought they like cleared it with someone.
No, this was like we did it on a whim, and like we weren't sure how it was going to go. So we essentially were just blasting music in a usually quiet library, being a disturbance to 50% of the people's, God, I don't know what the word, concern. And then the other half was just having as much fun as we were, because they were like bored, stressed out, not ready for the first round of finals for that semester. And like we were the moment they needed that night. It was really, really 50-50. It just depended on the people we were in front of. So,
I was gonna point out, like that's like around midterms time right there. It's like what, maybe 8 weeks in.
Yeah. So it was like it was stressful. It was busy. It was populated. Half the people were de-stressing by partying. The other half were still studying and getting ready. But to put it in perspective, like for this monumentous event, our school at Swag Academy had a like a campus-wide Snapchat story. I think at the time, I've never actually used Snapchat in any meaningful context for me to be able to like explain to you how that worked at all. But just to put it in perspective, we were trending on that like the entirety of Halloween. Like no amount of partying, no amount of like other cool events were happening on campus. It was seriously like 8 different videos of us being shitlords dancing through this quiet library, of people like not understanding where the music's coming from. So you'd have some videos being like, where's this music coming from, like out of context, and then other people just being like, what is happening in the library right now, as like people are giggling and filming us like going through. And man, oh man, was it a fun time. One thing that was not featured in the videos that I still have saved to this day was my favorite moment from it, when like we were, instead of taking the staircase, because we were already winded and exhausted from like nonstop dancing for like probably 15 to 20 minutes. We went up the elevator to go to like the other level. And so what happened was, because our speaker was blasting so loud, we get into the elevator and all the sound is condensed in there. So like people can kind of hear it, but it sounds muffled. And the minute we open up the elevator, going to like the other floors, for like the people who are like in more of the enclosed levels upstairs that like just didn't even know what was happening. You know, they had headphones in.
Didn't ask for this.
It was absolutely the most scripted moment of my life, where I open the door and I'm genuinely met with a crowd that looks like this, where like people are, you know, waiting to like get in and out of the elevator. You have like a group of students, like, you know, well, we're like studying together, just like not knowing what's happening, and then just immediately open the door and they just get a mouthful of, or an earful of Rasputin and a bunch of dweebs dressed up in Halloween costumes that start dancing through them. And once again, it was the same reaction. It literally went from half the people being perplexed and confused, and the other people just being absolutely taken aback by the level of absurdity that was.
Remember, no Russian.
Yeah, literally that scene.
This is like one of those commercials where everyone is living a gray, dull life, and then you show up in your anime schoolgirl outfit and like music following you, and color starts coming to people's faces, and they start getting up.
Skittles.
It's a Skittles.
Yeah, this is a Skittles advert.
I was thinking more of like the Six Flags commercial that was really popular in like the late 2000s.
Actually, not a bad comparison at all.
I don't even know what a Six Flags is.
Oh God!
It's like an amusement park.
Correct.
It's all right. No one who knows Six Flags knows about Six Flags anyway.
Yeah, it was like an amusement park chain. I don't know if it's still like relevant to this day, but I've never actually been to a Six Flags.
I'll Google it. Hold on.
God.
Were there Six Flags there?
Yeah, that's like a whole thing.
Ah, cool.
I think it's,
There are only
I guess
three
that
left.
does make sense. There's only 3, so it's really 3 flags. That's half the amount of flags I was promised.
Yeah, I feel scammed.
Feel cheated.
Yeah.
I'm paying for Six Flags. I want my Six Flags.
This video is not
Paid
sponsored by
for
that.
6.
this video is not sponsored by Six Flags. Fuck
Yeah,
Six Flags.
We're losing sponsors before we get there. Like, we got on Skittles' good side, but now like we're trashing Six Flags.
We need to make sure we burn as many bridges as we can.
No,
We gotta draw our line somewhere.
Yeah,
Just to keep advertisers and companies on edge.
Yeah,
It's a scorched earth strategy, okay?
my revenue.
So we essentially, for the rest of the night, because we were absolutely exhausted by the time we got back to like the dorm, we danced around the library, left before any sort of authority figure could come in and just ask us and tell us to stop what we were doing. We left, pretty much beelined it back to the dorm, still dancing and still playing music because like our minds were just in like adrenaline mode. But by the time we got back, we were just absolute sweaty messes because half of us had like masks on, right, for like Halloween costumes, and all of us had like heavier, tighter clothing on as a result. And dancing through like a 4-story library is just absolutely exhausting for us. But you know, it was exhilarating. We absolutely celebrated afterwards because of just not even like the amount of public attention that we had on it, but just the fact that like the experience went off without a hitch. Like we made people's nights. You know, we became pseudo celebrities for the day, even though we were pretty much had a level of anonymity to us because no one's going to recognize us outside of our costumes. You know, and it was so early in the semester that like the freshman base of people, nobody's going to recognize us either.
Was there a mask component to your costume, or you just think people were so blinded by the change of wardrobe?
Your radiance.
No, I'm talking like I'm thinking of like my other friends who like actually had like Halloween masks on, and they were like, guys, I need to breathe for a minute and whatnot. But okay, so that story took place in freshman year. That was absolutely one of my favorite college memories by far. Just like early into my semester, you know, living life, having fun, and just kind of putting myself out there.
Oh, did you ever get?
I have a question.
Oh
yeah. Whoever wants to go first, I'll answer both.
We both raised our hands.
Yeah. What'd you
go? Skip, do you go first?
Well, did you ever get in trouble for this?
No, not at all. No, literally, like people thought it was fun, and by the time it was over, like we were already back to our dorms, like just in for the night, either studying, hanging out, or doing whatever. Like there was no like punishment for it, because it was just fun. Like, yes, we were obnoxious and like it was disturbing the peace,
Yeah,
you could call it.
You didn't
But
like
we
throw toilet paper around the library,
Yeah,
start
like-
setting books on fire, like
yeah, like our group, our friend group, still to this day, like we're a bunch of shitlords, but we're not like, you know, egregious. Like we didn't cause any property damage. Like I said, we like disturbed the peace, but we were in and out by the time it would have been like obnoxious. Like we didn't want to be there too long. Like we spent about 5 minutes on like every floor because we just literally covered the entire base of like the library. Right. So we wanted to get every corner so everybody could experience the joy that we were providing. But otherwise, it's like we had no reason to stay. So like, had we stayed there for like an hour or something and then got kicked out, that's the point where it would have like went into the territory of like being obnoxious.
Press release the
What
next
happened
day.
to Kakashi?
being-
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a good point. I might have left that out. I mean, literally, I think after we got back to the dorm that we all lived in that year, because that's how we all kind of met and whatnot. He kind of just like buggered off. Like he literally was like, "Thanks, guys, that was a great time," and then we never saw him again. Like he literally, I've never watched Naruto, but he disappeared into the fog.
Like a ninja.
I need to know more about this Kakashi character.
I'll be honest, I never saw the man again. We didn't get his contact info. I don't even know what he looks like.
he wasn't even a
outside of-
student.
Yeah,
It was
outside of-
Kakashi. It was Kakashi.
First, Nanchan disappears from the story, and then Kakashi comes in, and then also just disappears almost immediately after. All these characters.
And I'm
God
not even
damn.
exaggerating. I'm really not. I don't even know who he was. Like, and because his cosplay was so on point, I only saw like his eyes. So like, I don't even know. Don't even know where he was from.
And did like
What a
nobody
hero.
say like? Did nobody ever mention during your entire time at college or university was like, do you know the guy who just like shows up to class in a Kakashi?
I think it was just for Halloween though.
Nah.
There were. I'm getting beside the point. I don't have PowerPoint slides for this because I'm just retelling college stories. But like every Friday, there were these gentlemen that would dance around in morph suits with a speaker, not inspired by us by any means, but like just for the fun of it, would literally like wear morph suits all day to class and dance in between like the 10 minutes or 10-15 minutes you had to go to different classes. So like I think the Kakashi guy I never saw again. So I think that was just a Halloween thing for like for a weeb. But there were other students that like did little celebratory things. Like every Friday they would wear this or do that or do this. But that guy was not that. If anything, he hid in the shadows, you know, after that day.
Man, American college sounds so fun.
I was gonna say, Cullen, you mentioned in your nun story, you came from a smaller town and sort of went out to I don't want to say this was a big city college, but like you were in a more urban environment.
Semi, yeah.
So
It was
was this
Go on.
what you were expecting to come out of your college experience?
Not really. I think like for me, if we're gonna like nosedive and pick at like, you know, my life experiences, I'd say for the United like the States college experience that I had, I wanted to get out of like, you know, my small rural-esque town, semi-urban, semi-rural, and go somewhere to like a big name university and whatnot, just to like meet a sort of, you know, like get a more national, international, you know, group of friends, and that wasn't just like people I knew from like, you know, a 30-mile radius, right? Or I don't know the conversion rate for all you non-Americans out there, you know, like the size of a town, you know, and whatnot. That was like the basis of my experience. And then, you know, one thing led to another, and I surrounded myself with people who had that same mindset and attitude of like, let's just have fun, you know, like, you know, and do enjoyable stuff like that. So to answer your question, yes. I don't know if that answered your question.
A little bit.
It's 1.6 kilometers to a mile, by the way.
I think, Max, I'm pretty sure they use kilomiles in the UK.
I'll break all of your bones.
Every single one.